Liverpool 5, Frankfurt 1, or Frankfurt 1, Liverpool 5. Listen, I thought I'd get some sleep and kind of, you know, have a fresh mind for this game because, as you guys know, I was very angry at the fact that we was even scoring goals. I was so vexed at like the fact that Ekitike didn't start against Man U. I just wanted decimation, and that is what we got, to be fair, against Frankfurt. But before we get into it, guys, make sure you do subscribe. You guys have been going crazy with the likes, crazy with the comments, crazy with the subscribers, well, increasing the community and whatnot. So, guys, let's just keep on going. So, no like goal today. Just like the video as you see fit, and let's keep on growing the community. But more importantly, let's get into the game. First of all, I wanted some form of change, and the manager made, I think, 90% of the changes that we wanted to see. We saw Robbo come in at left back. We saw Curtis Jones come in midfield, obviously, because McAllister wasn't up to par as well. We saw Frimpong starting, despite obviously the fact that he got the early injury. We saw Isak and Ekitike both starting in the lineup. We got the hashtag both from the off for the very first time, even though it only lasted 45 minutes. I think the only one we was kind of, thinking that the only player that we think should have deserved to start, I'd say was Chiesa. I think Chiesa's the only one we were like, Chiesa could have started this game. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that he got 45 minutes, he got a good run out. But, I think Chiesa could have started this game. I think Gakpo probably could definitely came off the bench, maybe got himself about half an hour. But we're going to talk about some performances today. And first of all, we did play in that 4-4-2 formation. And remember, guys, I did say that a 4-4-2 is something that I'd like to see in this formation. And a lot of you, some of you guys suggested 3 at the back. Other people suggested the 4-4-2 diamond formation. So the diamond of Ekitike, Isak, Wirtz in the 10, no Salah, no Gakpo. Those guys kind of coming in as strikers off the bench. I wasn't really a fan of the diamond, but we've gone for the 4-4-2, which I actually done a video on. So you guys go check that video out if you want to see the slot tactics that I think we needed to employ. And that 4-4-2, I think, was a lot better. It was a lot better. We were more rigid at times. It was more organized. But we have to say that I can't sit here and say that Liverpool are back. But what I would say is good signs and certain improvements. Now, granted, the opposition is a bad Frankfurt side, but we're also a bad Liverpool side right now in terms of our form and the morale, very much so. So, obviously, the shape is an interesting one because we saw Florian Wirtz off the ball playing right midfield, or like inside right midfield. And then on the ball, he drifted in between the two strikers, off the two strikers of Ekitike and Isak. And then Bradley slash Frimpong, even Szoboszlai would come over to the right side and have that support. The only issue I have with the 4-4-2 is that it's a bit lightweight on the right-hand side. Gakpo and Robertson, I think, is okay. But I think that Frimpong's injured now. Bradley, I have to be honest, guys, Bradley and Wirtz on the right-hand side, I think it's different when Kevin Shardo is running at, guys. That's the only thing I would say. I think we definitely have to keep the shape and keep the players, because how are we going to get better at a new shape, without playing over and over again? I just don't think we're going to be afforded the same space. Brentford aren't going to give us the same space that Frankfurt are going to give us. I think it's as simple as that. And the bottom line is, we'll know if we've turned a corner or if we really started improving on how we play against Brentford. Are we going to see the same patterns? Are we going to look more dominant? I think our best form of defense in this formation was actually in possession. I think the times we had to deal with defensive transitions, we were still very open and very vulnerable out on those wide areas. Hence why we conceded first. And actually we scored our equalizer off of a situation where we was, again, beating down the wings, the ball comes across, and a great instinctive play from Robertson. And then again, our boy Ekitike doing the business. So defensively, I still think Liverpool was sus. But there was a massive improvement in retaining the ball, keeping the ball, and dominating the game. Now, we'll be able to have that sort of domination and ball possession and ball retention against Brentford. This is where the challenge is going to be. We could imply the tactics, but I wouldn't say this is the golden formula as of yet, because it hasn't been proven successful. You don't prove successful over one game, especially a game against opposition that are very, very much inferior. A game we should win. But you could argue the fact that we should have beaten Manchester United same way as well. You could say we should have beaten Crystal Palace as well. You could argue if Chelsea having no centre-backs, we should have beat them as well, regardless if it was away from home. So you can make these arguments either way. We talk about individual performances. For me, Szoboszlai was everywhere today. Absolutely everywhere. Absolutely loved his midfield role in a 4-4-2. Absolutely loved it, especially while Gravenberch isn't there as well. It would really, really interesting to see Grav and Szoboszlai as the two centre mids in the 4-4-2. It'd be a wonderful watch. I think we could see that going forward once he is back. I mean, he might even be back on the weekend. We don't know. So there's that as well. There's that. And if you want to go by even some of the numbers here, let's actually show you guys numbers. I think this is Cody Gakpo's numbers, to be fair. That's what's killing me. But let's actually, there was some Szoboszlai stuff over here. Where is it? Here we go. Szoboszlai has one possession more times than any other player in the Champions League this season, and he's sitting there at 24 ahead of quite a lot of midfielders on that list, of course. And not just midfielders, actually players. Not just midfielders. You can see Mickey van der Ven's in there, and he's a centre-back. So, you know, Szoboszlai was absolutely everywhere in some of these instances. And I think not just him being everywhere, he covers players in their positions and gives us the space to move into riskier areas than we should do. And there are a lot of people blaming Szoboszlai for the goal. Now, everyone knows I'm quite harsh on Szoboszlai with these type of things, when he does these things. But I actually don't think it's Szoboszlai's fault initially for the goal. Wirtz gets dispossessed, and Szoboszlai is now standing in midfield with no one around him. And this is why I say defensive transitions, we still looked very vulnerable, even though we played Frankfurt. That I don't think that was a massive change defensively for Liverpool. It was more in possession and going forward. If we actually look at if you pause it, when we lose the ball, Szoboszlai he vacates the position. Everyone's going, oh, why is Szoboszlai vacating the position? Why did he do that? Szoboszlai vacates the position, in my opinion, because he sees he's got a player to his right and he's got a player to his left. And at that point, he can't do anything but stop the counter himself. If he fouls the player, job done. Yellow card at worst. If he intercepts the ball successfully, even better. But if he stays in his position, he can either mark one player, they pass to the other. He marks the other player, he passed the opposite side. He was done either way. So, in my opinion, he in his head, I think he just feels like he has to make that decision to stop the counter before it happens. And obviously, he ends up pushing Curtis Jones back into position. I don't agree with that. That was all crazy, but it is what it is. But Florian Wirtz, right inside right midfield position. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about that. I think he got a lot of time on the ball. It was actually in transition. There was a time where he done like a little Lakaketa, and then he pinged it over the top. It was really, really nice play from Wirtz into Gakpo, then obviously to Isak. And that is a side of Wirtz you want to see more. This is probably one of Wirtz's better games. He got his 2 assists as well, so over the moon with that. We got some of Wirtz's numbers here as well for you guys. So let's share this tab instead. Obviously, 100% long ball accuracy, 89 pass accuracy, 7 recoveries, 4 chances created, 2 big chances created, and 2 assists. Wirtz has obviously now, and let me make sure you guys actually have a look at that as well. You guys can see the stats there. And Florian Wirtz now has this position where, especially when Mo Salah isn't there, do we now have an auxiliary right midfielder, inside right midfielder with the overlap with Szoboszlai covering? This is what can work. Will it work in the Premier League? Again, Kevin Schade running against those two guys might need more cover. Konate might need to come across. The 2 midfielders might need to sit a bit deeper. Ekitike might have to be as a second striker, protecting the midfield as well, and then we counter from there. That is how it can work. If we add one of the strikers into the midfield, so it also still becomes that 4-2-3-1 that the players are used to playing, then, you know, we'll see. And obviously, I'm going to do a separate video on Wirtz. I'm going to do a separate video on Wirtz on his role and them things there, and we'll actually go into detail of how I feel like it can work. And even though I wasn't really feeling the Wirtz at right mid when the game kicked off, it grew on me as the game went on. But obviously, different strokes for different folks. It depends on the opposition. It really, really does. But listen, I'm happy with Wirtz. Like, he's off the mark now, and let's see how he responds. Let's see how he goes next game, and let's see the importance of him working with Isak, linking up. And is he going to be more ruthless at times as well? We're going to have to see, man. This away game at Brentford is going to be very, very important. Another player that obviously we're going to have to speak about as well, man. Cody Gakpo. Cody Gakpo, that is 3-3 for Cody. And even though, as I said, it is frustrating and he has been, you know, quite wasteful at times, he is getting the goals. And again, it irks me how wasteful Cody Gakpo can be. And I think he's so much better than what he is right now, because I feel like his decision-making is off and his distribution is off, but he's still getting goals. He's still getting goals. You see what I'm saying? So I think we have to be respectful of that. I have to be respectful of that. I have to learn. I'm not perfect. I have to learn as well. Cody Gakpo's games by numbers: 21 out of 39 passes, 5 touches in the opposition box, 4 chances created, 4 duels won, 1 goal, 1 assist, 3 successful take-ons, and a foul, 1 as well. He scored in his last 5 games for club and country. So numbers-wise, Cody's looking good. Aesthetically, I feel like there needs to be improvements, but of course, nothing wrong with that. So that's just me trying to breaking down the game. I'm not going to go into too many other things. I think defensively we were sound. Curtis Jones was really good in the game as well. I think it's a shame that we lost Isak. It's a shame that we lost Frimpong. I think Isak could just do with the rest and being out of the spotlight anyways. Curtis Jones, Frimpong again, another hamstring injury. Really disappointed at that one. But Robertson for the goal was poor defensively. But for the rest of the game after that goal, he found his stride and he done what he needed to do. And I think Robertson was excellent throughout the game. A lot of good performances today, but I'm not looking crazy into it to say that we've turned the corner. I'm sorry, guys. It's just one of those games where we now have to look forward and see if we can apply these same tactics and maybe just tweak the tactics slightly because of the different pace of the Premier League compared to the Champions League, and then I think we'll be fine. But boys, it's another win. Like and subscribe. Who was your man of the match for me? Say Sober's life for me was my man of the match personally. Big up Virgil and Ibu for the headers as well. We scored from 2 set pieces, which we haven't been doing. So again, a bit more quality on the set pieces. I'm mad happy with that, innit? But as I said, Wirtz got his 2 GA. It's fine. He got his 2 GA. Let's go, guys. Let's fucking go, guys. You got his 2, you know what I'm saying? Let's get back to winning ways and let's hope this doesn't happen again. Because if we do go over to Brentford and it doesn't look good, then what's the point in it all? What is the point? Obviously, Salah came on and he should have passed it to Wirtz. I don't think Salah was too bad when he came on, but the decision-making from Salah does continue to be very off-putting in terms of his decision-making, and something needs to change in his game or he probably will struggle to get back into the team. But we won 5-1, so I don't really have too much to say about Mo Salah. People are going to try and make it about Mo Salah, even though we won 5-1. Shows you've done something, we've done enough. And bringing Salah and McAllister off the bench, I mean, it's not too bad, is it? Anyway, guys, we'll see you guys soon and be ready for the Wirtz breakdown video later on this week. Take care, guys. We'll see you in a bit. Like, subscribe, by the way.